Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 2018. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season, and I hope that everything is starting to settle back down for everyone so that they can get back to what they enjoy doing and what they have to do. I wanted to let you know that I have started with the what's it called? Uh, working with um, it's a hashtag chillin' in 2018. It's with This and That Michelle, with Michelle and Deb Hoke, a collaboration. And what they are doing is they are limiting themselves to $25 spending limit at Dollar Tree each month. And they can accept trades. They can borrow things from people. They can wish for things. And they can do swaps and get things that way, and it doesn't count towards their $25. Postage for sending out swaps and wishes and whatnot does not count towards their $25. And you can also carry the funds over to the next month. So I got paid yesterday, so I have taken $25 and I have put it in a little bag, and I forgot to bring it in here with me, and set that aside for this month at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to make a few changes with my website or YouTube site or whatever it's called this year. And one of the changes that I would like to do is to what do I want to say? Have a tutorial each week showing you how to do something that I have either learned how to do or have discovered myself, or I really don't know how that works. If I can show you how I do something that somebody else did and showed me how to do, or if it's supposed to be just something that I have created and no one else has done it. But anyway, I'd like to take this time now to welcome you to my very first Crafting with Chris video. And what I am going to do, let me turn this camera down here so you can see what I'm doing. And what I am going to do today is I am going to show you how I make my altered buttons. And this month, of course, is Valentine's. And there are many, many different ways that I do these. So this is just one way. And as I go along, I can explain some of the other ways that I do it. But this month being Valentine's month, I used a foam heart on the back as a base. You can also just cut out a piece of cardstock. I've done it with a scallop around the edge. I've done just a plain circle. Whatever really that you want to do, it's just a base to hold all of the decorations. And then on this one, I have taken a small doily and put on there. And okay, so here's my heart. And this is the small doily that I'm using. It's in a piece of a runner that I had that was like this, but it was real long. And what I do when I cut these out, because this is very heavy thread, and I don't want it to unravel, so I use fray check, and I just put a little dab of fray check right where I'm going to cut, right on the tip of where I'm going to cut. So once I get the fray check on there, then I can take and I can cut it, and it won't fall apart. Because these aren't the manufactured doilies that are all interwoven, and no matter where you cut them, they don't fall apart, and you know, that's all fine and good. But anyway, I had then cut out my doily, and what I do is I just hot glue my doily to my base. Now, another way that I've done it, because I did it this way because the doily is bigger than the button. So I wanted the doily underneath. So that's what, now we have the foam shape heart, and we have the flower doily glued on there. Then I usually take a feather. I like to use feathers on my buttons behind the button so that it just sticks out a little bit. Here's a little tiny bit of this red feather here. And sometimes you have feathers where you can cut just the small part of the tip off. And sometimes this particular one that I used here was a piece that's connected right back here at the base on the back of the feather, and it's always just a little tiny piece, and sometimes they look nice and you can use them, sometimes they don't. This particular one looked nice. It's real light and airy feather. And this one here is just a piece of a feather that I had left over, and it's the right length, and I know that it doesn't come to a point at the top, but that's going to be okay. And I'm going to take and I'm just going to glue it down on the heart like this. So it's like that. So that it will stick out beyond the button. And then I just take my button and I glue it down on top of that. So now we have that. Now, on these, I'm using some eyelash trim on top of the button, underneath all of the stuff that I put on there. Sometimes, if I have just a little tiny doily, just a little button size little snippet of doily, I will put it on top of the button. But when I was getting ready to do these, I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. So I just take the eyelash trim and I roll it around my fingers. I take and place some hot glue around the center of the button, and I push the eyelash trim down on it, and just kind of, I don't care which way it goes, I don't care what shape it makes, it's just kind of a all-around base on top of the button. Like I said, sometimes I use a little tiny doily as an all-around base on top of the button. So that's the next step. Then I have this string of little cameos, and I like these on my buttons. So I just cut one of these off. I've also used larger cameos, but that, unless you've got an extremely large button, that takes up too much room on the button. So I like using just these little tiny ones here. And I just place that wherever I want to place it. It doesn't matter where I place it. So it's like that. And then, like as you see on this one, you just start taking little pieces of whatever and gluing it on wherever you want to glue it. So I have here a box of the flat back pearls, and I think I am going to take an iridescent flat back pearl, and I'm just going to place it on here. Like so. Then I have some other flat back pearls, and what I'm looking for is a smaller flat back pearl in a different color than the pink. So we have here kind of a white iridescent flat back. And there's that one. Then I have a box here of little flowers, and you just want to pick out something that you want to use. Okay, I picked out this glass flower here. And just put it on there like that. Then I have this drawer full of button centers and stuff. And I think I'm going to use this little tiny heart in white. And there it is so far. Okay, then there are times when I take little seed beads and I put some liquid glue in there, tacky glue or a glue that dries clear, and I'll just sprinkle some seed beads over it, and that kind of fills in all of the little places. And I think that might be what I'd like to do this time. So just 1 second here. Let me grab my seed beads. And I have a very pretty pink here. Or I have an iridescent white. think I'll use one of those. So I just need to get my tray out. Alright, I don't see my tray, so I will use the lid to my seed beads. I just want something to catch all the beads that fall off. And what I will use I think I will use the designer art glitter glue. And I'm just going to put some glue in a few spots around the button. You can also use glitter to do this. Oops, slipped, went all over the place. Okay. So that's about all I need to do for that one. So there is that one finished. On this one here, I used the flat back pearl, and then I used one of these little rings around the pearl. I used the cameo. I used the red bow that I had. I used a very pale pink pearl, a clear flower, and a little clear piece of stone that I have to embellish that one. And that's how I embellish my buttons, make my altered buttons. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was fairly clear, and I'm hoping that I will be able to come up with an idea each week to do this, and it will probably be on Thursday each week. And let me know if you enjoy it, my doing these, or if I'm not focusing well, or because if you can't see what I'm doing, then there's not much point in my doing it each week, because it's not helping anybody. And so leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it, and if you want me to continue. And be crafty, have a good day, and love you all.